Alright, we're gonna learn how to put on the plow on the truck. First off, we want to make sure that our truck is lined up with the plow. Make sure it's gonna go right into this groove right here. Also, we want to check that this is in the on position. That's gonna set our pin to go in when we start putting our plow on. So make sure that's switched over to where it says on. And this side also, move this over to where that says on. And we're gonna drive our truck right up to the right to this area. As you can see, when you're line of vision, you're gonna need to pick a spot where you can see the plow and how you're lining it up. That way it's a little bit easier. Then you gotta move it until you see the plow. You feel the plow bumping onto the truck. Then we're gonna go over here. Take a look at it. We want this spot right here to be right underneath this groove. So we see these lined up. All right, lined up on both sides. This is pretty close. Then we go on to the next step. Okay, on the next step, we're gonna take off our covers, look at our connections, make sure they look round, they're not bent out of shape. Also make sure they have grease on them. The grease will keep it dry. So if you see that it needs grease, don't be shy to ask me for some grease on this. We're gonna put some grease on there. Take off this cover. We want to look at these pins, make sure they all look straight. If they look like they're bent, we take some needle nose pliers and straighten them out. Sometimes they'll be bent out of shape because somebody was moving it around too much. This one here, I had to bend it back into shape. It was coming apart. So we also want to make sure there's grease in there. All right, we're gonna push this on here. There's notches. You have 2 notches on one side here and 1 notch on that side. Make sure that lines up with the other notch, the empty spots here. 1, 2, 3. Push that on. Okay, when we have this pushed on, you're gonna see no big gaps around here. If you lightly pull, it shouldn't come off. Make sure you have your slack. Also, we got the power cord right here. Same thing with that. We want to put a little bit of grease in there if we need to. They should be pre-greased. And we're gonna push that on to this area. Make sure you do the small end here to the big end to small end. Alright, we want to give that a light tug. Make sure that doesn't pull out. We're going to look at our connection here. Alright, everything looks like it's attached. Then we're going to go over to here. And on our controller, here goes our controller. We have on here a on and off switch. Alright, in truck 39 first, to do anything, we gotta make sure we turn on aux 1 and aux 2. That allows us to have power to this thing here. So we turn that on, you're gonna see a green light. From there, you're gonna hold down the down until it turns red. When that's red, that means it's in float position. Then we're able to put the plow on. We can't do that until that is red. Alright, now from here, we go to this control. We're going to press up to put on the plow. Alright. Check our pins. The pins didn't go in yet. Raise it some more. Okay. Press up. And both these pins should lock in. You see both of them are pressed in. They're both on. Next, we're going to pull this pin here and lift our leg. There goes our leg, fully lifted. It's not hanging down at all. Don't move the plow until that leg is all the way up. We want to make sure that this is lubricated, has some grease or spray on it. Make sure there's not any like sand or rocks on it. We also want to look at our trip springs. Make sure they don't look cracked. They're in good condition. Eye bolts, make sure they're good and not loose. Make sure they look all tight. We want to check our clearance and make sure these are straight. This is going to help you determine where the blade's at, because you can't see the blade from the cab when it's down. So this is going to help you see it. Check both of those, make sure they're straight and they're right over where the edge of the blade is. We want to look at our rubber, make sure that's looking good. That's going to keep the snow from kicking out and stay within. Look at our blade, make sure that looks nice. There's no cracks or pieces missing out of that. That looks good. And we should be good to test it out. So we're gonna go in our cab. We turn on our aux 2 lights, and that's going to switch over our headlights on the truck to the headlights on the plow. So we want to check those, make sure they're on. The other lights should be off. We're going to check our blinkers. Good way to check the blinkers is to just press your emergency right there. We'll make sure we go over here and make sure those are flashing. All right, looking good. The next thing we're going to do, we're going to put our plow up. So we're going to look at our light. Yeah, I got the light blinking. Let's see what happens here. That light's blinking, that means there's a short in the connection. So we're going to go back over here. push on our connection. Make sure it's nice and tight. When I pushed down, it did move a little bit. All right, let's check this again. Turn it off, turn it back on. There we go. So if you have that flashing light, just turn it off, turn it back on. You should have a green light then. Then you should be able to lift your plow up by pressing up. You'll see your plow move up. Test all directions. Make sure it goes up. All right. All right, everything looks like it's working. Now, when we're traveling with the plow, and say we're on a narrow street or we have a lot of cars coming by and it seems like it's hard for them to pass, our option to do, we could raise our plow all the way up and then we could tilt it. And what that does, it brings the plow a little bit tighter in, so you have more clearance on both sides. You know, you can go out here and check it. You want to see that it's not dragging on the ground. But if, say, you're going over a hill or a ledge or something, you might want to straighten out your plow before you continue. That's it for now. I'm going to go on to the what's inside your safety box next. I want to admit to a mistake that I did. I overfilled this, and that caused hydraulic fluid to flow all over the ground. When we're filling this, we should only fill it when it's acting sluggish. If you're moving it and all of a sudden it moves real slow, then it's going to be low on fluid. Don't fill it up unless you have seen that it's moving real slow or sluggish. Then check the fluid, put fluid in it. You won't be able to see the fluid. Just put it in until it acts nice and smooth and not real slow. Okay? Alright, this is what you should have inside your Boss kit, plow kit. You should have a ratchet strap. This is to lift the plow in case it folds on you. The reason it would fold is, say you hit a speed bump or a curb, your plow will fold in on itself to protect the plow. And there's instructions on here on where to attach it to lift the plow back up. So that's what this is for here. Here goes dielectric grease. This grease is used for the connections, the electrical connections. Some extra pins in case those break. An extra solenoid. This is, controls the power to your plow. We also have an extra hydraulic hose. The hose, in case that breaks. Extra spring, in case it folds and say one of the spring breaks. If you don't replace this, it's going to keep on folding on you because it needs that tension. We also have assorted nuts and screws in here. Eye bolts. There's eye bolts in here in case those break, and that's what's in your safety repair kit, emergency repair kit for your plow.